This video will analyze some graph points in Chairman Conrad's February 4th, 2008 press conference, where he detailed what his opinions were on what Bush inherited. Here is the graph to be analyzed. Starting from the bottom, we will look at Chairman Conrad's statement that Bush inherited robust job growth, the strongest economy in 3 decades, and we were on track to pay down all publicly held debt. These are considered to be opinions of Chairman Conrad. The first one to be analyzed is Chairman Conrad's opinion that President Bush inherited robust job growth. First-time unemployment claims started to rise after April 2000, 7 months before President Clinton left office, and the economy was in recession by March 2001. Chairman Conrad, did President Bush really inherit robust job growth? Chairman Ken Conrad said Bush inherited the strongest economy in 3 decades. What does the CBO at the end of the Clinton administration say about the economy? The Clinton administration anticipated a more favorable economic outlook than the CBO for 2001, primarily because the Clinton administration completed its forecast in November before the recent spat of data indicated a sudden weakening in growth. The CBO also stated in January 2001 that, but during the second half of 2000, economic activity appears to have shifted from above trend growth to below trend growth. Therefore, the economy at the beginning of 2001 was not as good as the year 2000. The CBO also stated the primary negative risk is that the current slowdown might turn into a recession. Although forecasters widely anticipated that economic activity would slow, the deceleration has been surprisingly rapid. And these comments were, of course, right at the end of the Clinton administration, just before Bush came into office. And here is a repeat of the previous graph showing the first-time jobless claims began to increase in April of 2000, and the economy was in recession in March 2001. Chairman Conrad, did President Bush inherit the strongest economy in 3 decades? Chairman Conrad then said what Bush inherited, on track to pay down all publicly held debt. Here is a graph presented by the CBO. The CBO stated, in view of those uncertainties, the outlook for the $5.6 trillion surplus budget can best be described as a fan of probabilities around the point estimates presented in this report. The figure makes clear that nearby projections, other paths in the darkest part of the figure, have nearly the same probability as the baseline. Moreover, projections that are quite different from the 5.6 trillion baseline also have some significant probability of coming to pass. For the example, the figure suggests some probability, albeit small, that the budget might fall into deficit in 2006, even without policy changes. Therefore, the CBO clearly is not making any prediction about the possibilities of paying off the public debt. Chairman Conrad, did President Bush inherit an economy on track to pay down all publicly held debt? The economic evidence, as presented by the CBO in 2001 and other sources, simply do not support the opinions of Chairman Conrad that President Bush inherited robust job growth, the strongest economy in 3 decades, and that we were on track to pay down all publicly held debt. The first point of Chairman Conrad was that Bush inherited a record 5.6 trillion surplus. This is a reference to a projection the CBO issued in January of 2001, and Chairman Conrad is presenting this without any reference to the fact that it was a projection. Therefore, a separate YouTube has been developed to analyze this statement, referencing a projection being presented in the form of a fact. That YouTube will address the facts of the 2001 CBO report as well as the ethics associated with presenting a projection.